Hello, welcome to Witchy and Well's Soul Medicine, where we interview folks who have found a way to be their own medicine and are now sharing that with the world. I'm your host, Emily Valario, pharmacist, witch, and holistic health coach. And today it is my great pleasure to be joined by Kristen Bedrick, who is a soul-led intuitive healer who has a unique healing modality, a unique medicine called the body Unspoken. But before we get into that, I like to start by asking, what is a witchy little risk that you have taken recently that is a little leap out of your comfort zone to grow, to learn more about yourself, something of that nature?
Absolutely. So I have been spending more and more time and intention in making sure that I do things that are joyful and absolutely listening to what it is that I want to do and want to say yes to.
Yes. And isn't that a risk?
It is. But what happened was today I had 3 events all around the same time frame. And so the little risk that I had was to say yes to an event that was over 60 miles away and make sure that I was going to make it in time to be here, which is also a risk, and just putting ourselves out there and doing something new, which is exciting. So thank you so much for inviting me here. And so the risk was to trust traffic, which I trusted that there would be traffic, which there was. Which we can all relate to.
Absolutely.
And that I would be here in the right time and everything would happen in the way it is supposed to, and which it did.
Nailed it. But I love that idea of like the risk is leaning into what brings us joy.
Absolutely.
I mean, how often is that the thing we don't even allow ourselves to think about?
Oh, and that's the journey. That's where we're getting to. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. It's getting there. Yeah. It's really following the joy and unlayering all of the shoulds, all of the societal pressures, all of the things that we thought we were because we grew up in a certain way. And little pieces of us would start to come out and say, nope, this is you. And each step that you took that may feel unsafe, but somebody was there to support you, or somebody was there to reflect back that beautiful piece of you. Oh. That's what's been unfolding and has brought me here today.
That last thing you said resonates so hard with me, that the gift that we have people around us who can really see us and then tell us what our light is.
Absolutely.
Who can really share with us our magic. Yeah. Have there been moments for you along your path that really stand out, or recent moments where you've had someone just see you and tell you that?
Well, the most fun part is after I married my husband, I thought it was a secret that I was in the woo-woo world. And I decided to sit him down very nervously and tell him, I'm woo-woo. Mm-hmm. And he looked at me so nonchalant and said, yeah, I know, and kept on going. And I thought it was going to be this huge moment between the two of us where he was going to say, we really need to talk about this. No, complete acceptance in that he had seen it, which I had thought I was hiding for a really long time. And the thing that's really cool about it, though, is that the woo-woo is not always weird. It's not always something that we may not want to look at. Mm-hmm. It's just who we are.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly, my husband saw me for who I was. And that's just one example. Yeah. And the many people around me who have also reflected that.
That's incredible. I love that you had that moment of total validation. Like, yeah, okay, we're good.
And the best part was that it was no big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's funny, so much of, I think, stepping out of the spiritual broom closet or the witchy broom closet, as it is for me and other folks who maybe identify with that word, it's like stepping out of any kind of mask, right? And there are people who see it all along. And thank goodness that they do, and that we can feel accepted when we're ready.
Yeah, and the beautiful moment and really big transition point in my life was during COVID. So I was working as a nurse in a hospital and had a previous background as a massage therapist, Reiki practitioner. And all through my nursing time when I was working at a hospital with patients, I was very medically focused. And didn't realize how much I had put myself out there of how much I support well-being in all things mind, body, and soul, or our energetic side of us, until the leadership came to me and says, Kristen, we need you. We need you to help lead the efforts to support the healthcare well-being. And I paused. This was another moment of, wait a second, how have they seen this in me?
I thought I was hiding it so well.
I thought I was hiding this, and I wasn't. And it was okay. I was being me. And we can certainly talk about how I did have to shield some of that and where there were pockets of feeling fear of rejection or actual rejection that actually occurred too. So
maybe let's start. Great. What were the things that they saw in you that they wanted to amplify, that they wanted to really bring forward in that moment of great need for us all during the pandemic?
I think that they knew there was more to do for everybody. And what I think they saw in me was my passion for all things well-being. Whether it was a deep breath, whether it is massage therapy, whether it's acupuncture, whether it is taking walks, eating nutritiously, any of these things I'm really passionate about. And truly amplifying a person for who they are. I do feel like I have this ability to see a person and see when they're off. And so when there was another nurse or a doctor who you could see the stress, even though they were holding it all together, it was that moment of check-in and saying, how are you today? And a great colleague of mine, we would say, but really, how are you?
Asking that question is so powerful. How often is it when you ask that question, that follow-up, that you see someone melt?
Yeah, exactly. And then you get to realize that you've been heard, you've been seen. And that there is somebody there to hold the space for you.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things I feel I do best for people.
Was this a gift that you had kind of all along, or is it something you've intentionally grown and cultivated in yourself?
It is not something I've had all along. The growth that I have had within, the chaos to calm that I've had, and all of the modalities that I've had to go through to help create my calm, to help feel it, and to actually have an ultimate sense of peace has been a long journey. And it starts with awakening. It starts with awareness. And a lot of those times that awareness came through frustration for me and through reacting in a situation where I may not have felt in control, where I felt uneasy, where I felt attacked, where I felt vulnerable. And it was those reflections in relationships that when I would turn back and say, I didn't like that. I don't want to continue that way. And that reflection really helped me to find what it was like to be calm and peaceful. And I will also thank my husband for showing me and be that reflection of calm. Because he is able to do that. So he was able to help me figure the ways that I wanted to find more peace. And it was through helping others and being there for people and genuinely caring and listening and seeing them that I was able to be at peace and truly focus on somebody else. And that's what cultivated a lot of it.
That motivation, you found your motivation, that like desire to help someone, to hold space for them, gave you that push, that nudge to do the reflective work all along. I love hearing you say too that it wasn't something you had all along, because I think people can be really overwhelmed. People who want to step into this space and think, oh, like I could never do what Kristen does. I could never hold space for someone in that way. It's like, wait. You can learn it. What is it do you have like things that you ask yourself, or what is your reflective process like in those moments of frustration? Because I mean, let's be honest, like it's a lifelong journey to get there. But yeah, what do those reflective moments look like? Are there questions? Are there things that you do to kind of increase that consciousness, that awareness?
It really came out about being frustrated and wanting to yell or snap.
Yeah.
Or it came out of situations where I was simply annoyed by my scenario, where it didn't feel like there was really anything to have triggered this.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of buildup. And during COVID, there was a lot of letdown. There was a lot of having to release really strong emotions.
Yeah.
And I was able to have a group of people who were able to support me through that. And so to be able to receive was really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's another super important part, right? For people who are looking to step into this space, who are looking to find ways to hold space, finding someone who can hold space for you, whether it's a spouse or a coworker or just a healer that you go to.
Yeah. So they showed me how to do it. Exactly.
Yeah. And I'm sure in those exchanges you showed them.
Yeah.
There's that reciprocity always.
It was also going home and sharing stories of how calm I was and how people would reflect how I held space for them.
Yeah.
And having the people around me question it, then saying, wow, that's interesting. I haven't seen this side of you.
Yeah.
And there was that reflection back to what was the difference. And I think it was sincerely being present in the moment. And that was the key. And it was being there for somebody.
What does that look like for you when you are fully present? What does that kind of look and feel like?
Peace.
Peace.
Right? Peace. And it took the form of mind, body, and soul.
Yeah.
So in the mind, it is not worrying about what's happening next. It is not dwelling on what happened in the past. Physically, there's no tension.
Yeah.
And energetically, also no tension. There's none of the energetic anxiety or buzz.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah. It's flow.
Yeah. And learning a lot of meditation, mindfulness practices and practicing it is really important.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk the talk, right? But unless we're doing that work, yeah. What do your practices look like, if you don't mind sharing your mindfulness practices, meditation practices?
When I am having trouble focusing, it happens through oracle cards.
Yes.
They are one of my favorite tools that I use. The physical shuffling of a card, physically having something tangible, then to be able to look at beautiful pictures. My mind can wander. I don't have a pressure of it have to look or be in any certain way. I don't have to be silent or quiet. And it helps me to feel like I have an external message that supports where I'm trying to get to. And so the oracle cards are the easiest way for me to have a consistent practice that forces me to go inward, because I do start to either see the message first or go within and then reflect the match. And it's always so miraculous and amazing what happens in the message. It is so cool. I've turned to journaling, and almost every single well-being practice I have probably at some point snuffed my nose to or said, that is not for me. And I turn the corner, and I always say, like, try it. You never know if it's going to work. Journaling forever. People are like, just journal. And I was like, no, this isn't working for me.
Do you find sometimes the things that we have the most resistance to end up being the things in the end that actually are the most helpful? I find that for me anyway.
Yeah. And I will share, the big one for me was the tree hugging. I was on a retreat and my back was killing me. I'm trying to move. I'm trying to do all these things. I'm trying to do my own energy work. And there's a tree staring at me. And someone says, why don't you go lean on the tree? Yeah. And I thought to myself, are you crazy? No, what is that tree going to do for me? And I was resisting it. I didn't want to be labeled as a tree hugger. So after a little bit, and my back is not normally something that's ever in pain, and so it was different for me. So I walked on out, I laid back against the tree, took in a deep breath. I felt a lot of warmth. I felt energy. And I said, let's keep going. And as I stepped away, it was as if the tree took my pain away, and there was zero pain the rest of the weekend. And so now I'm a tree hugger.
I feel like this is an excellent segue into talking about the body unspoken, because your body was telling you in that moment through your pain,
absolutely,
what you needed to do.
Yes. And if we could take the message of, although something may seem so weird, so illogical, there are times we just listen to our gut. We listen to maybe someone else's soft encouragement. We see if it does feel right for us. Is there going to be any harm in what I'm about to do?
That is a great question, right? And both of us being in the medical field, that's always a good question to ask.
Absolutely. And no, there will be no harm except possibly to my ego, or possibly to what someone might look at me and say, what is she doing over there? And when you can let go of that, and that's been a lot of my work, is letting go of other people's judgment, but really my own judgment of myself, then life becomes more joyful. Life becomes easier.
Then we heal.
Yes.
And we step into our magic too, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
I think you've had so many really cool moments. I mean, not only are you a beacon of light to other people who working in healthcare and sharing your passion for wellness and well-being, and all of the many different ways that can look for people, but you're also now stepping into this healer role for people who are suffering with physical illness, with physical manifestations of deeper pain. Tell me a little bit about what that's looked like recently.
So it has been in stepping into my entrepreneurial role and trying to figure out what it is that is unique to me. And it was trying to figure out of all of the knowledge that I've gained over the years, what makes me stand out to who I am. And as I was recalling stories of when I would do massages and I would get information about the person's muscles and what was going on to them, and I would get that confirmation of, yes, like this, it was hard to speak sometimes to say, is this true? But the nudge helped me to share it, and they would say yes. And then I would feel their muscles soften. And then through my Reiki sessions and just picking up on energy and asking people things, and they would say yes. But I would oftentimes just think it was a coincidence, or I wouldn't actually see and reflect what was coming through to me and own it. And it was, again, the reflection of other people to say, this is amazing. This is something that you're doing that is not something that everybody does. And it was in that journey to reflect and say, yeah, I have done that. And it was continuously practicing. And then looking at other people who I've brought that are out there that are actually doing very similar things. And I do think there is a importance in logic, right? And where I say this is that a lot of these things, they're metaphors. So when we say we feel the weight of the world on our shoulders, and we have muscle tension, and we feel the weight, and when that's lifted, the muscle tension's lifted. We get a lump in our throat when we need to cry or express ourselves. We feel pain in our stomach when we're either holding on to something or letting it all out. Our headaches from thinking too much. Right? So when we say, I've got a bitter taste in my mouth. We have so many metaphors that are actually happening, that are giving us that reflection. But we often just say, what a coincidence, or just part of how it is. But we're not actually seeing the beauty in it.
The messages, the communication that's happening through our body and through our language choices.
Absolutely.
For me, and again, we have some overlap in our background just coming from Western medicine. Inflammation is one that I think about a lot. And in the folks that I've worked with, so often inflammation, I find, is squishing down our passion, our desire, and then you can't really ever do that fully. So it comes out in some surprising and unpleasant ways sometimes.
Yeah. And this is the beautiful thing too, is that I may have my own definition or interpretation of something, and I've never thought of inflammation this way.
Yeah.
And this is the beautiful thing, that it's not hard and fact true for every single person, but we begin to look at it different. We begin to explore it, and then we tap into our bodies and say, is this true for me?
Yeah.
And that piece, is this true for me? I want to apply to everything.
Exactly. And your work, are you is part of your session with folks helping them turn inward in that way?
There is absolutely that.
Yeah.
And so you can see the resistance, just as I have seen it in my own life. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And oftentimes we can feel that resistance because we're not ready in that moment.
Exactly.
And we let it unfold as it's supposed to. And in our own time, we will process. Or I believe our body will keep getting louder and louder until we may want to address these things.
Yeah. Have you seen that happen with folks around you, where you have that escalation of message coming through?
I think it is, so to answer your question, yes.
Yeah.
And I think we absolutely have to trust in the timing of how everything works out for us. And we are so used to having things now at our fingertips, or used to having things happen in an instant. And it's not always designed to be that way. And so I've had to practice patience myself. A lot of us have to practice patience.
Yeah.
And we don't always know the reasons why. We don't always know the outcomes, but the awareness can bring us more light, can bring us a different perspective. And I think that shift in perspective is what helps us change, what helps us grow.
What do you think the context is that allows for someone to have that shift? What are the factors that need to be present? Something
I think people
about
need
a
to
lot.
feel safe.
Yeah.
People need to feel seen. Recently learned the difference between validated and affirmed. Validated if somebody else sees it too, and affirming it is your own self. But sometimes we need that validation from others.
Absolutely.
And then that affirmation for ourselves.
We can cultivate both. I feel like we can. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think some hope is important. Hope for something different. I think when it gets to the point where somebody is asking for help, where somebody is seeking for a different way, for some type of healing, that they're ready.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn not to offer. I still offer sometimes. But it really is when they're ready, then they come, and then they have that shift, and they're more welcome to it.
I wonder, on that idea of hope, they've done studies with folks to look at how a patient or a person's confidence in their provider impacts their health outcomes. And they found, at least subjectively, patients end up performing better in certain measures, like reporting better sleep, lower pain, so confidence from the patient, in their provider carries some weight. But I wonder, I would love for someone to do this study. What would happen if we looked at when people feel, patients feel, clients feel that their provider has confidence in them?
I have talked to different providers, and there has been a shift, and I do think that there is some behind it. I don't have enough experience to talk for it, but I do believe in creating an environment. So it is your physical environment. It is the people you're surrounding yourself with is part of the environment, and that does aid in healing. And that's Florence Nightingale talked about it, and how important the environment is for us to heal. And the important thing in this, in my opinion, is that we ourselves are the ones that are healing. And once we own that it is our healing, and it is not something somebody else is doing onto us. It is not the doctors, the nurses, the team, the healers. It is our bodies, mind, and our soul saying, we do receive this, we want this, we are doing this now. And that's where the power is. When we shift to say, I helped facilitate this for you.
Yes.
So we're not meant to do this alone. We are here to have people in our lives to help reflect and to give us those, because we do have our blinders on. We're not able to see everything that other people are. So we need our team of people to help us get there, but it is ultimately our power that is within us. And that doesn't mean that if we don't heal right away or we don't have any outcome that we're looking for, that there's anything wrong with us either.
As you said,
really
it's allowed to happen in the right time.
Yeah.
And I think something that I like to think about too is, those challenges, those struggles, however long they are, sometimes, when they are long, when you come out on the other side, it's like that awakening is so much more profound, right? It allows you, after that struggle, to ease someone else's way, because it's been such a powerful journey for you.
I do feel like I've heard
your personal experience
have said you can only go as far, bring the people as far as you've gone, and there's a lot of sayings that people wiser than me that I've listened to, and now that I've gone through more healing and acceptance and forgiveness and stepping out there with more confidence, I see it. I see this next step of where I can help bring more people along to it together, and that their energy, their wisdom, what they bring to the table gets us both there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That reciprocity, that collaboration, right? It doesn't have to be on any one healer, any one doctor, any one healthcare provider, because I think that burden has really impacted our healthcare system too. People to feel like they need to fix it.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not here to fix. So let's go back to that joy. We're not broken, but we see things in us that aren't as wonderful as we may want them to be. They're not as joyous as they want them to be. And so when we can uncover those and heal and unpack and get rid of some of those things, and you find those things that make you most joyful, you find those things that are most unique you, and you get to bring that out and now step out and say, this is me. I love the song, The Greatest Showman, this is me. And it does talk about all the scars and all the things that we have. To truly accept ourselves as we are in this moment. Physical ailments or not. Mental challenges, the things that are going on, once you can truly accept that, it's beautiful.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like the most human experience, right?
Yeah. So that's healing.
Yeah.
That's healing to me.
And I love how you're practicing this healing process on so many levels, right? There's, within you, right? We all have this choice if we choose to make it to heal ourselves. And then, the clients that you work with one-on-one through your unique modality. But I think the other really cool thing that you're doing is you're building a bridge between healthcare as it exists right now and what it will be.
Yeah.
And when you look out to the future, what are things that get you excited about healthcare, the way it could shift if we chose to allow it to happen?
Through the most recent process that I've gone through and really recognizing the gifts that I have, or talents, or even take out the words gifts and talents and simply showing up as me, and having that courage and showing other people you can do this too. All the other healers, all the other healthcare practitioners can also step forward, can also rise. And the goal is that we create this mesh, this network of all of the talents, all of the resources that we need to help uplift everybody, with that original intention I said of reflecting back to how do we heal ourselves. So we are not putting our power in a system. We are not putting our power in a group of people. The group of people are reflecting back our own power.
Oh, chef's kiss. Beautiful.
That's the vision.
That's the vision.
That's the vision. So when systems can break down,
Yep.
so individuals can rise up. And together, again, not alone.
Do you like the tower?
I don't know.
The tarot.
Tarot.
Do you like the tarot? I know you like oracle cards.
I don't know as much of tarot.
Yeah.
So, yes.
So one of my new favorite cards, it wasn't always, but the tower is the card. It's like, so in my deck, it's a bolt of lightning hitting a tower, and then like the tower falls and crumbles, right? And so it's the card that you pull when like things are about to fall apart, right? But the thing is, like our institutions, whatever. But the thing is, there's a net at the bottom that catches us, right? And it is the meshwork, it is the web, it is the connections of the many people who are doing the work of healing to be embodied, to be empowered as we connect to each other. This is the gorgeous meshwork that we make when things are crumbling.
Yeah. And I do think of the seasons and what happens when trees grow, they blossom, the leaves die, they fall, they crumble into the ground, and they bloom again. And that's, so when something crumbles, it can be hard to go through, but likely you'll make it through that, and that you will see some more beauty on the other side of it. Yeah, and can build stronger.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wonder too, before we started filming, we talked a little bit about the idea of Western medicine right now incorporates body, right? We talk a lot about physical illness. That tends to be the majority of the conversation that's happening in a provider visit. Certainly it was when I was a clinical pharmacist. We'll talk about the mind, right? We have behavioral health, we have counseling, we have, we don't always connect those two even. But I think there's another really powerful piece if we choose to incorporate it in this kind of new perspective on healing and well-being.
Yeah, as you're leading to mind, body, and soul. And I think it is those three pieces that really make the holistic care. And I do kind of perk up a little every time someone says holistic care, and I'm waiting. What does holistic care mean to you? And oftentimes it's pieces of everything, and it does bring holistic care. And so it is bringing in the mind and body, which we are doing much better. But this other piece still seems like it's separated. And so you're either spiritual, you do energy work,
you're woo-woo, you're over here.
It's still separated. And there's a great, strong community here. But the interweaving of those is separated still. Yeah. And that's when I say Eastern and Western medicine, it also means the energy part of us. Our energetic body is still not being incorporated into that care. And that's why the body Unspoken brings in all three of those. It is the energy, it is the mind, and it is the body. And that to me is true holistic care.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't mean you have to practice all three of those, but you can take pieces of each of those from different practitioners, from different healthcare providers. You incorporate all of those, but that's where all three need to be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, same as the system of a body. You can't just separate out the cardiac system and say that's it. Right. It works as an entire body. And that's where we're including our energy as well. Yeah. And that's a goal. And I'm looking for that to be more normalized conversation, because it's often the side conversation. It is we can talk about this behind closed doors or over here, and it's happening everywhere.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The conversations are happening, but we don't put it out there. Yeah. So here we are putting it out there that all three of these are important.
And for someone who wanted to have that conversation with you, for someone who is ready to integrate, how do they find you?
Oh, there's a few ways, but the easiest way is probably my website right now at www.kristenbedrick.com. That's www.kristenbedrick.com. You can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, under Chris Bedrick. I'm sure they can find you to come to me if that is another way. And think,
You can
just
put all your links in
emails,
the
find
description,
the
too.
links. There's so many ways that we can do this and truly connect.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes I see somebody that I am looking at and I'm like, I'd love to connect with them, but I put all these thoughts in that I think maybe they're too busy or who am I to reach out to that person?
Do it.
Do
Just
it.
do it.
There have been so many beautiful connections that I've taken that step and I've reached out to somebody. You are one of them. And it's just like, this is a beautiful connection that we were able to have. And it's easy and it's fun and it's fulfilling for both of us.
It's that bliss.
Follow your bliss, reach out and just come as you are and go from there and see what happens.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Kristen. I'm so grateful. And we'll catch y'all next time on Witchy and Well's Soul Medicine. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.